right, welcome back, traders. We are looking at what is happening today. Today is the day that the SEC will need to make some sort of decision regarding the Bitcoin ETF. I think we're seeing just how fragile these higher prices are today, with Bitcoin being down 2.35% on the day right now. We're getting toward the middle of this upward trend that I've got on my chart here. We did a little bit of bounce off of the previous high back here at 44,000, and it is still kind of coming down with, let's see, what's the volume looking like today? That's fine. Low volume, we're losing price action off of that low volume. Yeah, it's not great. So unless we get an approval today, we're definitely going to see a bit of a drop off, probably a visit on the bottom of this upward channel here around 42,000, maybe even lower. You can see here on the miners themselves, Mara's down over 5%, Cypher down over 4%, Hut down a little over 2%, CleanSpark down nearly 4%, Bitfarms down 4.5%, Bit Digital down nearly 3%. Let's have a look, see on the daily. On the daily, this is looking like a bear flag. Like I said yesterday, this is a wedge. Bear flag, it broke. If we do not get an approval today, Marathon Digital is going to come probably down and test this down here around the 20 again. And if 20 doesn't hold, we will be visiting 18. That's just the reality here. If you bought at 31, you're going to have a rough ride right now, unless the Bitcoin ETF is approved today. This chart right here is gearing up to do one of these, and then maybe stop here for a minute, and then come back down into this region here, maybe even as low as $17. That is what Marathon is trying to do right here. And that's all because of this little wedge right here. That was a bear flag. And it is confirming that it is a bear flag with today's move. Whoops. With today's move, it is confirming that it is in fact a bear flag with this red candle here breaking out. Again, we need good positive catalysts today. Otherwise, this is probably going to continue down to 20, test 20, move up, vacillate a little bit right there, and then come down further. CleanSpark is also looking quite ugly. This is, again, kind of a really weird head and shoulders. You got a bit of a shoulder right here, head, another weak shoulder right there. If we break into this downward channel here, we're going to see price action coming down to the center of this channel around 250, maybe even coming towards the bottom around 160. So keep an eye out for that coming in the coming days, unless the Bitcoin ETF is approved. If it's approved, obviously, we'll probably go back to these highs. If not, though, look out for these prices down underneath $2 on Cypher mining. Hut also is, actually, Hut's not looking the worst. Like if I turn on the Bollinger Bands here, oh no, the Bollinger Bands. If I turn on the EMAs here, we're under the 5. We bounced off the 20 here. We're going to come back up, test the 200 at 1168. If we can get above the 200 at 1168, I think we're going to start forming another bowl here, similar to like what was going on back here. I think we're going to start forming a bowl, maybe come up to like $15, form a handle, and test the highs again. So Hut doesn't look so bad. Hut actually kind of looks a little bit bullish, like it does have some moves in it. Now RSI is under 50. It is at 30, and it's going towards 20 down here. So that does mean it has room to move down, perhaps down to like $9 or even $8 before going up. We are stuck in between EMAs, so that's not a good place to be. But the price action has already given back quite a lot from $18.50 all the way down to $11. I mean, we're close to giving back half of that move right now, where we based out before after this previous move up here. So I don't think Hut has a lot of room to the downside. I would wait to see, make sure, I would like to see it get above the 200 on the daily time frame, the 200 EMA, before I'd be interested in buying. I know that would be a higher price than what I'm currently paying, but that's what I'd be waiting for. Either that, or I'm waiting for it to come down to around that $9 level. Let's take a look at CleanSpark. We're down 3% on CleanSpark today. CleanSpark this is looking like a bear flag as well, just like with Marathon. Came up, came down, started flagging here at this level at $11. We broke out underneath this upward trend line that I had here, and we're in line with this aggressive downward channel that I've got drawn on the on the chart here. We see it came to the top, to the bottom of it, hung out at the bottom, got to the middle, back to the bottom, back to the middle, back to the bottom, made a top here. We're back at the middle. We bounce there. We're getting near the top of it again here around 1050-ish. We come to the bottom again. I mean, we come to the bottom again. We're looking at 780. This is pretty aggressive selling right here. If the Bitcoin ETF is not approved, I expect that this to stay in this downward channel and probably come down maybe in the next few days to 9, maybe even under 9, fill this gap down here at 768. But that's what I'm seeing on CleanSpark right now. Let's look at the EMAs on it. Yeah, we're under the 5, so we could go as high as 11 before trying to come back down to the 20 at 780. The 200's down here at 523. I don't know if we'll make it quite that far, but the 200 or the 20 is kind of coming in line with the bottom of this channel here at 780. So that is potentially in play on CleanSpark. So I'm just waiting right now. It's really important. This is an important exercise in patience right now. Waiting for that news on the Bitcoin ETF. Is it going to rocket us higher, or is it going to get denied and drag us down and make all these head and shoulders patterns that I'm seeing in so many of these charts play out and to the downside and see us come down way, way down? Like Bitfarms, this is a classic head and shoulders. Let's have a look-see on a line chart. Let me go to a daily on that. Yeah, that is such a classic head and shoulders, just shoulder, head, shoulder. I mean, this plays out. This head and shoulder plays out. We're coming down to a minimum of $3, probably closer to, probably closer to $2 off that head and shoulders. That's going to be very aggressive when it happens. So keep an eye out on that. That's a very dangerous formation on Bitfarms right now. So, whoops, not bars. I want candles. Let's go back to 4 hours. So again, Bitcoin ETF doesn't get approved today. This is going to probably drop to 3 by tomorrow or the next day. Like, watch for that. BitDigital, honestly, BitDigital looks a lot like HUT. It's not the weakest chart. It's not the strongest chart, but it's not the weakest chart. We're under the 5. We're looking like we're going to collide with the 20 down here at $3 before continuing on up. Again, we're just, the price does like to come back to the 5, so we might revisit 370 and then come down. But 20 is definitely in play. We're on a bit of a really ugly head and shoulders right here. This is the neckline. If it gets under that, we're probably going to come down and visit, 236, 235, which I'd welcome that for going back up so I could buy some more of these things. I mean, we came in, we made a cup and handle, made a new high, and now we're coming back and retesting. We'll probably end up retesting this 200 here. It might take a while. That 200 might get up to $3 before we retest it, but that's what we're looking at on BitDigital right now. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up is if I bring up my Webull here is if you look at institutions, you can see who's been buying. Marathon's been getting a lot of attention as of 12/31/2023, so just a few days ago. Lots of people have been buying it. I mean, I don't blame these ones that were selling it. They're probably up to 300%, but a lot of institutions were actually buying, like BlackRock. BlackRock bought more. Exchange Trade Concepts bought more. Who else? Danske Bank, Danish bank, they bought some 100% more. They doubled down on their position. Versant Capital, I don't know who that is, but they went and 7x'd their position. And that's really the only important thing. Mara got a lot of attention. Bitfarms actually is starting to get attention now too. We got BlackRock jumped in on Bitfarms as of 12/31. They're the really only notable name on here I'm seeing from 10/31. I mean, Invesco got in at September of last year. November didn't really see anything too amazing for them. HUT got a little bit of attention from the BlackRock's buying up everyone. Cypher got a good amount of attention here in 12/31 as well from BlackRock and ProShares. CleanSpark got no attention at the end of the year this year. BitDigital actually got a good amount of attention from BlackRock, ProShares at the very end of the year in 2023. Riot also, along with like Mara, got tons of interest in it at the very end of the year. About Hive got a little bit from BlackRock, a little bit from Exchange Traded Concepts. So you can see that like Bitfarms got a little bit. I knew those big moves were institutional with Bitfarms. That's pretty satisfying to see. So I do like coming in here onto Webull and seeing like which ones are getting institutional investment interest from institutions and continued interest from institutions to keep me interested in which stocks I want to be purchasing going into the halving. So that's all I've got for you today. Please smash that like button, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.